That summer, Coxfields started hearing complaints from consumers that Americans had inflated the value of their homes, qualifying them for loans they couldn't afford. In fact, all over the country, complaints were flooding in that Americans had not only inflated appraisals, but had encouraged customers to lie about their income over the employment and had misled borrowers about, about the fees embedded in their lands. They had promised people they'd be able to refinance out of expensive loans without disclosing that Americans had stock on hefty prepayment penalties if they did so, and on and on. By then, Cox knew not to expect help from federal regulators. He started calling the OCC, the Office of Corporate Counsel, for the banking industry. The Fed, he says, viewed the AIGs as mosquitoes. After all, those smart bankers of Wall Street wouldn't securitize subprime loans if they were that terrible. Would they? Who, who do judge truths? Cox says about of stupid public service lawyers who mostly aren't even making six figures, or the people in Wall Street who are making eight of nine figures. It was an easy answer for the Fed. Yet the regulators were totally uninterested in looking off the ground at what was happening to actual human beings. We were the only cops on the bridge, and we were the people with the smallest hammer. In August of 2004, a group of America's executives, including General Counsel Tom Noto, flew to Iowa to meet with Iowa Attorney General Tom Meyer and several others. The America's executives were cooperative. Their response to the complaints was consistent. We don't do we don't we don't do that. That's not the kind of company we are. When faced with a particularly ugly land, they cite that's unholy. How could that be? The AIGs wondered when the horror story were the uniform and came from all over the country. I think they were clever, says one participant. This was a clever company led by an exceedingly clever man. I mean clever in the sense of sheer street smart. In early 2005, as the negotiators were getting underway, the Los Angeles Times published a scathing spokes of Ameriquest. The headline read Workit says lender ran by liberals. Among other things, the story noted that lawsuit filed by consumers in California and at least 20 there. Other states allege a pattern of fraud. One person who read the article was Robert Ginesa, the general counsel of the Greenleaf Institute over the years. Um, Nitsa had become friendly with Arnold, seduced by his charm and his seemingly sincere commitment to good lending practices. He said they were trying to be the best prime lender in the country and thought this guy could do it. Nitsa recalls his not-profit had taken grants for Harnam for affordable housing and was in discussions with Arnold about an additional $1.5 million grant. When the Times expose was published, Nyssa called Arnold, one of Arnold's executives, called him back and told him the story was all wrong. I said, this is too disturbing, cites Nyssa. I need a greater refutation or I am out. He also insisted that Arnold called for an independent investigation of the allegations. Arnold refused. Nyssa sent back check that Greenling had received from Ameriquets. I was told that Roland was unfired. He adds, I got to know Arnold very well. I got to like him, and then I was very disappointed by him, to put it mildly. Has the negotiation with the AGs heated up? Several state attorneys general and their aides flew out to Orange County for a meeting at American's headquarters. Hallner, who was not part of the negotiating team, asking Winston Miller and Arizona Attorney General Terry Goddard to come to his office.